Hi everybody. My name is Alice Roche. I'm the head of operations here at Charity Digital. So I help look after our customer service, so helping our charities get registered so that they can access our discounted and donated tech, and also get access to our content website where we publish lots of content like articles, webinars, podcasts on educating the charity sector on how to be more digital. So for those that don't know, Charity Digital are a charity themselves, and our mission is to help others accelerate being more digital and helping their mission. And we also, like I said, we publish content to educate the charity sector on accelerating their digital strategy. Do keep introducing yourselves. It's wonderful to hear where you're all from and what you do. I will pass over to my colleagues to introduce themselves now. You should see which one is which because we have our Charity Digital backgrounds on. But if I pass over to Joel.
Thank you, Alice. Hi, everyone. My name is Joel Hogan. I'm the Programs Manager here at Charity Digital. Been here for nearly 6 years now, so considered one of the old timers. Done a lot of things in my time here, but as a programs manager, I look after some of our strategic customers, help with strategy, and provide a lot of one-on-one consultations on helping transform organisations digitally, either through software or other means as well. I'll pass on to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Joel, and welcome to everyone. It's good to see you here. My name is Liz Carter and I am the email manager here at Charity Digital. Been here for quite a few years, a bit longer than Joel there. And I am the account manager for all of our digital clients that we have that use the email marketing platform. And I'll pass over to James.
Afternoon, everyone. Welcome. So I'm James. I'm the e-commerce manager here at Charity Digital. So it's my job to keep you informed of the discounts that we have and any new products that are coming on, everything on the exchange that you can save up to 90%. That's me.
Thank you, everybody. So we just want to give you a reminder that the webinar will be recorded. So recording has begun. We've also received some questions in advance, which is really brilliant because that gives us a starting point. So we'll go through those first, and then we'll come to the ones that are posted in the chat. So feel free, as and when a question comes to you, to pop it in the chat box, and I promise we will get to it. Once the session ends, you will be prompted for some feedback. So please do fill that in. It will take a few seconds and it will help us, with our offering and our services, just so that we know the kinds of things that you guys want from us. So this is really, really informal. We don't have any slides. We run this sort of every 2 weeks where we just have, this open forum that anyone can ask us any questions. So without further ado, we will go to the first question. So we had two that were quite similar. So one is from Judith, who is from the Autism Family Support Oxfordshire. We have been using MailChimp to send out our monthly newsletter and occasional messages. We have nearly 2,000 email addresses and could do with additional capacity up to around 5,000. From 10th of March, MailChimp will limit their free account to 500 email addresses. So we do need to find an alternative. Do we have any suggestions? Most alternatives are really aimed at marketing, which we don't do. Ideally, we would love a free alternative. So I'm going to pass it to Liz, who is our mail marketing manager.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Judith. Yeah, that's quite a common question that we're having in. I'm seeing a lot of sort of these queries regarding MailChimp, especially with the changes that are coming in now. And there are a few platforms that do offer free services. And obviously you're using MailChimp at the moment, but we know that things are changing on that. There is MooSend and OmniSend that do provide sort of a free limited service. Now that could mean that you are allowed to have a certain limit of subscribers, as you're probably experiencing with MailChimp, and there's a limited amount of features or the number of emails that you can send with the free platforms. Before you decide which platform to use, you really need to think about what would happen if you outgrow the free plan. And we do offer the .digital platform for non-for-profits and organisations and companies that work with charities. And we do have a wide range of clients, ranging from Girl Guiding to NHS Trusts. We don't charge for uploading or storing your contacts, so you can have an unlimited amount of contacts within your account. And we offer an annual bulk email pricing structure. So you buy email credits up front and have the flexibility to send these as and when you wish. And I'm just going to ask James now if you can just pop in the chat. We've got a pricing calendar link that you can have a look at our pricing there, the annual pricing. And also we have, also we do offer support packages. So we have a few clients that have used .digital in the past and they don't need a support package, so they go for the freebie one. But we also have another couple of packages that do include free email credits at the moment, and James has just put the support packages in there. So yes, there are free alternatives out there, but obviously you have to look at the future and what would happen when you do get, to your limit, and they are. You are sort of confined to limited features, let's say. And if you do have any more questions, then I'll be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so we'll go on to the next one, which was somebody from Clare House asking how often they can email supporters. So how often is too many? Are there guidelines around a multi-section email and a standalone email? And how much is too much, and what are the combinations? They have lots to email about.
Yeah, that's such a good question, because it really does depend on every charity. But I will drop in here that according to the 2023 Nonprofit Tech for Good report, 68% of nonprofits worldwide send newsletters, obviously frequently. Of those, only 68% send them monthly or less than monthly. So what I would say is, in my experience, and I've been working in email marketing for quite a long time, you need to be quite frequent to engage with your donors. The frequency depends on the news that you have to share. You obviously don't want to be repeating news, and it depends on also on your calls to action, or if it's you're raising funds or anything that needs to be carried out urgently. It's not a good idea to email too infrequently, because this does cause distrust within your audience or your supporters. And you need to consider that it's got to be a fine balance with keeping your audience engaged, but not to bombard them with too many emails as well. So I sort of would recommend a minimum non-for-profit amount you should be sending monthly, and more frequently if you have really nice updates to share. It could be on a weekly basis too. But the main thing is to keep an eye on your reporting metrics, because then you can see if you're having a lot of unsubscribes. So that would mean that your unsubscribers are obviously telling you that they're receiving maybe a little bit too many. If you see a spike in any changes there, that would be an indication that you have to change the course of action and reconsider. Also maybe your subject titles as well, if they are going into a lot of spam filters. But keep an eye on your reporting metrics. That's the key. You can gauge how your audience is responding to the amount of emails that you're sending out. Sorry, that was a very long-winded answer to that.
No, that's okay. Some of these preemptive ones that we've had submitted are actually, they're quite wordy and long. So that's absolutely fine, as long as we can help. And if that didn't kind of explain and you want to talk to Liz further, as she is our mail marketing expert, then we'll pop the email address on the next slide, if that's possible, please, Joel. Thank you. So the charity mail support email address is where you can get Liz for anything email marketing. Let's go on to the next one. So it has been suggested that we need cyber liability insurance, and I don't know where to start. This is a good one. I'm going to pass over to Joel for this one.
Sure. Yeah, this one's coming up a lot at the moment, which I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that so many non-profits and charities are really taking their cybersecurity seriously these days, as the non-profit sector and charities are probably one of the highest in terms of those that are attacked now for cybersecurity threats, which is really unfortunate. So I'm glad you're looking at that. So in terms of, I can't give personal recommendations because I don't work with cybersecurity liability insurance. However, your question is, where do I start? The main one is our very dear friends at the National Cybersecurity Centre. They're the best place for any charity, any level as well, particularly at micro to medium as well, who are diving into such a large world and terminologies and wordings and trying to understand it. They're great at breaking it down there for you. So we have some past webinars. Actually, we did one about a week or two ago as well with the National Cybersecurity Centre. We do them quite often. So we have some webinars on our website, which we can send links for a little bit later for sure. But also just go directly to their website, and they have like a general inquiry section where you can contact them directly, and they can give you some advice of where to start, pitfalls, that type of thing with cyber liability insurance.
Thank you, James. James is posting some really useful resources in the chat. And like I touched on at the beginning, I hope I said, but we will be sending the recording and the resources and the answers to the Q&A. We'll be sending that around at the end of this session. So if you feel like you're not going to remember, don't worry, we will send all of the resources around. So the next one is from an organisation called Improving Lives. So does anyone use any endpoint software that they could recommend? How do people manage Microsoft 365 when staff leave the organisation? Okay.
So I think by endpoint software, you might be referring to, there's a product that, because your second part refers to 365, I imagine you're looking at something within that realm. So you might want to look at a product called Enterprise Mobility and Security, which is a bundle of various products to do with device management. One particular aspect is called Intune as well. So that's something you might want to look forward to in terms of endpoint management. Enterprise Mobility Security can be obtained as a separate subscription with various levels of E3 or E5, or it's also included in some various subscriptions of Microsoft 365, such as Microsoft 365 Business Premium, includes Enterprise Mobility and Security as well. So that's within the realm of Microsoft. That would be your endpoint management side of things. Regarding the second question with leavers, well, as long as you have perhaps a nominated person who stays on top of your 365 admin portal, who can view all the users, all the licenses, etc. The great thing about 365 is when someone leaves or anything like that, you don't have to cancel a license and then repurchase it elsewhere. You can simply reassign the license to a new user. So if you have a user who's leaving, they've been assigned some a 365 subscription, perhaps Enterprise Mobility and Security as well, you would just need to go to the 365 admin portal where all the users are, find that person's user name, and you'll see the list of subscriptions that are associated with them. So from there, you can unassign the licenses, and they'll be there in your kitty to reassign to their new user, a replacement or something like that. That would be the common way to manage that.
Excellent. Thank you, Joel. So the next one is, with the changes in pricing coming soon, I would like to understand how to confirm whether our Microsoft cloud licenses are through Charity Digital or direct from Microsoft. It's a very good question.
Yeah, sure. So it's a good question. So I've looked up your details earlier. So firstly, I can say yes. You do have some licenses with us. I won't go into details with it over this session, but by all means we can catch up afterwards and we can break that down for you. It's no problem. One point to remember with that is that I can confirm that there are licenses that we have assigned to your organization, but you might want to double check in your portal once you confirm what we've assigned to you, to see if you've actually obtained any else other than us. If there are licenses outside the ones that we confirm that we've provisioned you, then that means you've obtained them directly from Microsoft.
Thank you, Joel. That's great. So our organisation isn't a charity, but we provide services to the non-for-profit sector. Can we apply for the .digital mail non-for-profit package?
Yes, you certainly can. You don't have to be a charity to apply for the .digital non-for-profit. You could be a social enterprise. You could be, as I mentioned before, working with charities. And we do have lots of clients that their clientele is purely charities or non-for-profits, and they're a company themselves. So yes, you can apply.
That is great. Thank you, Liz. Yes, so as it stands, the catalogue that we offer through the Charity Digital Exchange, which is the discounted and donated tech, quite a lot of the products in that catalogue aren't... Oh,
sorry, I'm just going to mute.
Someone's dog in the background. Usually it's my cat walking across. So so unfortunately, because our products come through our partners TechSoup, we don't define the eligibility criteria for each product. Therefore, lots of the donors like Microsoft, Adobe, they have their own set of eligibility criteria for their offerings, and we have no control over that. So we often get social enterprises, B Corps, KICs, get in touch with us and ask us what they're eligible for. And mail is always a really good one to say, that the .digital mail marketing platform, because you do not have to be a registered charity for that. So thank you for clarifying that one, Liz. So how do we change licenses from Microsoft 365 Business Basic to the 10 free Microsoft 365 Business Premium?
Sure. So I think this is related to my previous question. So thank you for that. So there's a couple of options. So if you're doing it via ourselves, by Charity Digital, by all means, you can contact us and just say you would like to obtain the business premium licenses, and we can add them for you, and then we can remove any licenses that you don't want as well. That's a service that we do provide as part. Is being able to manage your licenses like that for you. Alternatively, if you are getting them directly from Microsoft, you can obtain your licenses directly from the purchase services section of your 365 admin portal. Please note that not anybody within your 365 portal can do this. So only a user with global admin rights will have the permissions to obtain licenses. So an example of that is, if you, as a user, if you're able to create users, assign licenses, then you should have the same permissions to purchase licenses directly from your 365 portal, and you can get your business premium ones from directly from there if you need to.
Thank you, Joel, our in-house Microsoft expert. Okay, next one. I think this is the last one from Casarion Trust. So apart from the 3 Charity Digital support license levels, do all other Microsoft Cloud licenses need to be purchased directly from Microsoft? How do we switch to paying to directly to Microsoft?
Okay, so yeah, I think your questions may be back of some of our recent mailings regarding the changes to our cloud solution providing service, where there'll be service fees coming on soon from the 27th of March for particular licenses, those being the Business Basic, Business Premium, and anyone who still uses the U1 licenses. So I think I know where you're coming from with that. So any other, if you're looking at sort of managing your costs, so for example, if you want to retain keeping those free licenses for free, then get your Business Premium and your Business Basic ones directly from Microsoft. However, if you, apart from that, with paid licenses, like for example, if you've used your free allowance up, or you need a better license there, you can still obtain them via Charity Digital Exchange. Many licenses, we provide a further discount on top of the non-profit discount. As well as that, you'll get our sort of our personal services, like being able to manage your licenses by adding or removing them when you want, providing you payment options as well. And also very soon there'll be some exclusive content coming to our users in the form of I think it'll be quarterly newsletters. I think there's a forum coming up as well, and then these are regarding getting the most out of your 365 subscription. So looking at 365 beyond your Office apps. So rather than just just using it for your Word, Excel, your emails, etc. There are so many different intricacies which are included in subscription, which can really help transform your organization if you're able to dive into it. I mean, there's various aspects. You've got automation now. There's Power BI is a big one these days as well. There's lots that you can do with your 365 subscription that you may not be doing already. And very soon there'll be content being released by our partners at TechSoup, which will be able to help our users get the most out of their subscription as well. So that will be included as well. So to sum up and come back around, simplify that. If you're watching your costs, you can get your free licenses directly from Microsoft, and then you can get your paid licenses with some further discounts in some cases directly from Charity Digital. From a support side of things, we'll be able to support you with the licenses that you've purchased from us, as we won't have any visibility of licenses that you have purchased elsewhere. So if you purchased any from Microsoft, we won't be able to support you with those ones. But yeah, I hope that helps you out.
Thank you, Joel. So I'll just go on to one that is about social media tools that could be beneficial to our charity. Liz, would you like to answer this?
Yes, just unmuted myself. So we have actually quite a lot of links on social media tools that can be beneficial to our charity, or to your charity, I would say. And I'm just going to ask James if he could put some of those links in there. We do have, there's lots of links for example, training, and also graphic design and content creation tools that we can use as well. And I won't obviously read all the links out, but I'll just ask James if he could. We've got quite a few, so these will be in the resources at the end as well.
Just to add to that, there's a product available that you might want to take advantage of called Adobe Express. So it's completely free for 10 devices of a charity. So it's very similar to Canva. I know a lot of people are very familiar with that, but it's Adobe's version, which is great, which means it can connect with any other Adobe software. In my experience, I tend to find that social marketeers, if that's the right terminology, tend to use a lot of Adobe products, like Creative Cloud and all that. So to have Adobe Express within that realm can help you with your creativity. But it also comes with something called social media scheduling, which from a non-social media person, I understand is quite a hot topic these days. Social media scheduling, allowing you to, if there's certain content that you post at certain times of the year or that kind of thing, it allows you to plan that in advance, and that frees up the time of that social media person to then be really on the ball with that reactive content, like the stuff they need to get out on the day, and it can really help them manage their time a little bit better. So Adobe Express, like I said, it's for free for up to 10 devices. Might be something you want to take advantage of too.
Thank you, both of you. Good teamwork there. Can you elaborate on the price changes? This is from Gary in the chat. Can you elaborate on the price changes that affect free Office 365 licenses?
Sure. So there are two actual price changes coming. One directly from Microsoft, and one that was installed by our partners at TechSoup. It wasn't planned, by the way, to go at the same time that this recent Microsoft change came after. So with the TechSoup one, so from the 27th of March, TechSoup will be launching their new cloud services program, which means they will be so for any free licenses that have been provisioned by, for example, ourselves via TechSoup, will have a service charge, which would be 85 pence per user per month. So the licenses affected are the Business Basic, the Business Premium, and anyone who is using the old free E1 licenses. Now, although it comes into effect from the 27th of March for anybody who's purchasing a brand new license, new subscription, the fees will not come into place for existing users until the anniversary of their free subscription. So, for example, if you just obtain the free subscription maybe a month ago, for example, and by subscription, I don't mean the licenses. So the subscription is Microsoft Business Premium. But if you're adding a license to that's completely different. That's just adding a license to an existing subscription, just to clarify. But if you did purchase the whole subscription maybe a month ago, then the fees won't come into place until February next year, because that would be the anniversary of your subscription. A bit of background behind that. So the reason why, there's two big important words here, especially our sector. I know my colleagues will laugh at this, but there are two big words here, and that's impact and sustainability. So TechSoup have been around since 1987. Back then they were known as Compumentor, serving the non-profit sector for all these years, providing access to products, discounted products to all the charitable sectors in at least over 100 countries and territories all that time. There were changes that came to the Microsoft program last year, which where you may have seen a lot of donation products were removed, and this had an impact on the TechSoup global network, which we are a part of. So to remain sustainable and to allow TechSoup and its partners, such as Charity Digital, to continue to make an impact and provide services such as these discounted products, free content like today, that type of thing, they've had to bring in this service charge to those free licenses. I mentioned it in the previous answer a moment ago that they're not just going to charge the service fee without giving back. Like I said, within the next sort of month or so and over the course of the year, there'll be free exclusive content coming to users of cloud subscriptions, and that'll be in the form of a quarterly newsletter. I believe there's a forum coming as well. There's some other aspects as well, I'm not entirely clear of at this stage, but that will be in a way to support those organizations that continue to support us and TechSoup. That's why they have this service fee coming on, that to allow the sustainability to continue to make impact. And to be transparent, so this, I feel like I'm repeating my my webinar I did a little while ago, but that's fine. To remain transparent with these free, you are not obliged to continue to have the free licenses via ourselves, for example, and pay for them. You're not obliged to do that. What you can do is you can obtain these licenses directly from Microsoft, who at the moment continue to provide Business Basic, the first 10 Business Premium licenses, for free. So that's part one. I'll just very briefly touch on part two, price changes, which you may have heard of. 1st of April, Microsoft have increased the prices of all their Microsoft Cloud products. It's due to some sort of exchange rate. I don't know the full details, but for organizations based in the UK, all products will go up by 9%. So ways to negate that a little bit. If you're thinking about purchasing any 365 subscriptions soon, get them purchased before the 1st of April. That way your license will come with 1 year of price protection, which means it will delay that 9% increase until the following year. So that's one tactic that you can do. You also might want to check if you are currently on a subscription and if it has been purchased via ourselves, you might want to double check the anniversary of your subscription. So if you're still within your first year, you would have price protection. So the 9% increase may not come on until later this year. I'll leave it at that now for now. I think I've waffled a little bit there. I hope it's been useful, but by all means, I'm happy to elaborate that further offline, or if you have any further questions, no problem at all.
Thank you, Joel. Yeah, it would be nice at Charity Digital if we had a March without some Microsoft madness, we call it internally. But so often, yeah, this is just dictated to us, and we have to just communicate it and sort of deal with the backlash. But yeah, please do get in touch with the if you please go on the slide, Joel, if you just keep those email addresses up. Yeah, we'd be happy to talk to you if you're confused about your licensing or your anniversary date. Please do get in touch. So let me just check on the next questions. So there is one, do you do Power BI for non-profits?
Yes, we do. We certainly do. It's £2.22, excluding the VAT per user per month. So yes, we certainly do it. Keep an eye out on our catalogue. I would say early Q1, we're going to revamp our cloud products from a visual perspective very, very soon, just to make it clear of some of the extras that are available to nonprofits outside of just 365 subscriptions. I mean, at the moment, you can see 365 enterprise mobility security projects, but yes, very soon you'll start seeing some of the add-ons and things like that, so such as Power BI or Intune or some of the Teams phone, it's called now, used to be called Teams Voice, sorry. So there's a lot of little finicky add-on products that we do provide, and we'll be improving the visibility of them very, very shortly.
Thank you, Joel. So I'll go back to the preemptive questions because I think we're a bit quiet in the chat. Do feel free to pop any in. Okay. Oh, what does the term computer labs mean? What does this mean, and would this apply to charities? I was looking at some of your Microsoft donations and saw this.
Yeah, that's a great question, computer labs. So computer labs is a terminology that's been used by some of our Microsoft products, particularly on the Windows Pro licenses and also the Office standard licenses as well. So essentially, what would define as a computer lab is a public-facing device. So, for example, if your charity is perhaps like a community centre or something like that, where you have devices which perhaps members of the public use for perhaps job procurement or learning, then that device would be known as like a computer lab device. The reason why that's important is that some of our licenses have restrictions on the quantity you can purchase every 2-year cycle. So, for example, Windows Pro licenses, we provide them 50. You can get 50 of those at low cost for 50 of those for within a 2-year cycle. Now, those can be used by staff members. That is meant to be used for staff, but then there's another version which is called computer labs. So that means you can purchase an extra 50 licenses if you need that many, but these can be used towards these public-facing devices instead. Yeah, I believe that the apply. I think the offer stands. I think there's a computer labs version of Office Standard available. So you can get a low-cost version of Office Standard specifically for public-facing devices. So not to be used by staff with the Microsoft eligibility there, but public-facing devices only. Hope that explains it a little bit.
Thank you, Joel. So I think as well, we've just had a question in the chat about yeah, how do we get in touch directly with the presenters afterwards? So yeah, Ian, James has just kindly answered that, but with the 2 email addresses on our screen, otherwise you can book a free consultation with Joel. And as you can tell, Joel is sort of our products expert. And also if it's anything email marketing, Liz is our expert as well. So I think this is the last one. So we'll post our feedback link as well, just so that people can provide any feedback if we are nearing the end, but please do feel free to pop any more questions in, as we do have until 2. But this is a really good one to end on, if not. So I have someone who has been at my organization for 10 years. They are leaving and now I need to translate their knowledge to my new starters. Is there any software that I could use to help with knowledge sharing? So yeah, I will answer this one. It's a really good question. We use an electronic piece of software internally in Charity Digital called Guru. And it is just that. It's a knowledge-based system, and it's cloud-based. And they actually offer a not-for-profit pricing, which is 50% off, which is what we use. And it's fantastic because it is just an electronic knowledge base, which is really, really good for staff turnover, which we know is obviously a big issue in the charity sector. So yeah, we use it internally. We started within the operations team, which is my department, and then now we use it org-wide. And I think I implemented that in the first month I joined, so back in November 2021. And now that's just... Oh, brilliant. Yeah. So we don't sell this actually. We just use it. But hopefully that tip helps whoever asked that question, because yeah, it's a real worry. I remember when I first joined and I said, where do you keep all of your knowledge, to people like Joel? Oh, just in my head or on bits of paper, sort of scraps and bits of tissue. So yeah, so we kind of identified that as a worry and now have this brilliant piece of software. So feel free to check that out. James, have we had any more questions come through?
Nothing in the chat. I think that's it chat wise.
Okay, well, we'll leave it there if there isn't any more. We do very much leave this as a bit of an open door. We try to not go over the hour, but sometimes we just fall shy of it. So are there any further questions from anyone in the chat? No? Or you can unmute. No? Excellent. Well,